So this is me cleaning out my classroom because I resigned because I was targeted in my school for my political beliefs. So this is my classroom, me getting my stuff. And yeah, I was targeted. I was told in so many words that if you don't stop speaking about certain political things, that you will be fired. And then I was targeted afterwards with a bunch of petty stuff to get me to leave my job. So, this shouldn't be happening in any workplace for conservatives or Christians or, and this is a Christian school, but it's predominantly black. These are run by black Democrats. And yeah, my classroom, and it's not right. But I'm okay because I have, I always contracted work as teacher that I do on the side, but it's just exposing it, bringing it to light that it shouldn't be happening in Florida. And this is what black conservatives go through, right? If I was at if I was speaking on the Democrat side, I wouldn't be losing my job. But you can't speak as a Republican, you can't speak as a conservative without losing your job. After my Jubilee interview, I was brought in by my dean and told in so many words, you cannot speak about that. You have to, we're going to watch your Facebook, we're going to watch your social media, you won't be allowed to speak about it. And I refuse to not speak about what I want to.
Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time, welcome on board. So this black MAGA, right, he's known to make some negative rhetorics against the liberals, against other people other than their MAGA, lords. So, and he's been instantly fired, right? And he is here on this internet street trying to garner some kind of support from his MAGA people. And we all know these people, whenever they come out, they are usually trying to look for like some sort of popularity. To me, it's like a popularity stunt kind of a thing, Once you become a black MAGA, it's like it's a big thing. You create some level of attention towards yourself. And now that he said he was forced to instantly resign from his job, I think there is more to what he is saying that he's letting out, right? And I feel this guy has said some of the most negative rhetorics when it comes to other stuff. I don't subscribe to the fact that he's been fired from his job, because just like I said, everyone has the right to vote whoever they want to vote for, but absolutely you're not devoid of the consequences, right? Now he has opened a GoFundMe account, and he's looking for his MAGA people to go donate in his GoFundMe account. I'm telling you, these guys at this point are not into the whole Trump MAGA thing as it is. I feel they just want to ride on this wave of popularity and make money, because I don't understand. You say you have a side hustle as a contractor, so why are you opening a GoFundMe account, right? For what exactly, right? So guys, what do you think? Please drop your thoughts in the comments.
When I became a Christian, I became a black conservative, right? I was a black liberal for a very long time. But when I became a Christian, I became a black conservative. Why? Because I believe that Christianity is incompatible, right? The policies of the Democratic Party is incompatible with Christianity, right? You cannot call yourself, well, you can. I'm not going to say people who are Democrat are not Christians, because that's not true. But you cannot call yourself practically a believer and vote based off your Christian beliefs and look at the ballot box and say, I'm going to vote for transgenderism. And the Bible is against it, period. You can read it from Genesis to Revelation. This is my field of study. This is my bachelor's, my master's, all that's in theology, right? You can read it from beginning to end. God is very clear. We can go to Sodom and Gomorrah, what he did there. We can go to Romans, what it talks about homosexuality, and call it an abomination and all that, right? We can go from that. We can go to abortion, which is Molech, when they were sacrificing their children in the Old Testament, their form of abortion, how God judged them, right? So you can't call yourself practically a believer and then be okay with a party that's so pro-choice that they were, during Kamala, was pushing for abortion up to that 7th, 8th month, 3rd trimester, right? That was happening in some Democratic cities. And I can go on and on and on the fact that how the Democratic Party, during the shooting, we're talking about speaking against praying, speaking against how Biden's administration targeted Christians, targeted churches, right? But we have a lot of black Christians, a lot of liberal white Christians that every election go to the polls and do not vote based off their Christian beliefs. When I became a Christian, I became a black conservative. Black culture is toxic. The black culture is toxic. We have produced a culture that is toxic. And let's get on the fact that there's no fathers in the black home. Let's talk about that.
Stop.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
None of this is gonna work if y'all are just gonna sit here and make up.
It's
not gonna work. No, a debate has to be in facts.
You're putting off emotional liberalism right now.
I am not putting off emotional liberalism. You're putting off unfounded lies based in conservatism.
Misinformation. Remember they did the misinformation thing all summer?
The disintegration of the nuclear family has led to an astronomical increase of single-mother households. According to the Moynihan Report, in 1965, nearly 25% of black children were born to unwed mothers. The report's author, Daniel Patrick Moynihan, said this was a disaster in the making. He was, of course, vilified by so-called black leaders and their progressive allies. But he was right. Today, the out-of-wedlock birth rate is nearly 75% and even higher in some urban areas. To be clear, baby daddies share this responsibility with baby mamas. Yet, while baby daddies are blamed and rarely shown compassion, baby mamas are rarely blamed and receive both compassion and support. This lopsided dynamic and the previously listed pathologies stem directly from the number one problem facing the black community. Problem number one, unquestioning allegiance to so-called progressive policies. Unwavering loyalty to progressive liberal policies is the primary reason these dire conditions persist. It both makes them possible and perpetuates them. It's no coincidence that progressivism is the common thread that binds predominantly black cities where single-parent homes, failing schools, rampant poverty, and crime predominate. Look at cities like Detroit, Philadelphia, and Baltimore. They've been run by progressive Democrats for decades. If their liberal policies were at all...
Watch this radical liberal woman explode in rage after she is called out by a black conservative man.
People that have this liberal mindset are infecting our communities, black people, and making us victims and not victors. I refuse to embrace a victim mentality because that's not what our grandparents and Harriet Tubman and those people fought for. They fought for equal opportunity.
Do not bring up Harriet Tubman's name in vain, baby, please.
Let's say the Lord's name in vain. The Lord's name.
Harriet Tubman was literally saving her family and others from slavery.
Yeah. You know who helped her? White people.
With the help of white people. Man, this guy is literally unhinged, you know. I mean, his arguments to me are kind of devoid of facts. It does not hold any water, right? If you want to argue about something, you keep on saying black men are known to, live. You know, the whole black culture is very toxic. Like, really? Is this what you come on the internet streets and be saying, right? I mean, you're a black person, and I'm sure at some point you might have been toxic to a black woman, and now you're here forming as if you're all saint and all of that. Black culture is toxic. Black this is toxic. Jeez, who paid you to be doing that? Like, yeah, every race, every group of people, there are issues that are peculiar to them, but who gives you the audacity to come and ostracize your people on these internet streets? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you want to be MAGA, be MAGA. You're free to be MAGA. You're free to be a conservative. Everyone is free to be a liberal, right? But this going back and forth, and and I guess that was one of the reasons why you got fired in the first place, because you're unhinged. I mean, you could have a very balanced argument without coming outrightly downplaying the suffering of your people. You know how institutionalized racism made your people to not stay in a family unit because half of your men are in prison, and we know it's the system that made it to be that way, because the slightest little crimes that could easily be forgiven, but they are usually given harsher sentences, right? So I don't understand what this guy is trying to bring to the fold, because it's like you've not really done your research. You're just here being loud for nothing, because of course you want the support from your MAGA people. It's all about the money. It's not about that you're a Christian conservative. It's all about the money and popularity that you're getting right now. So guys, please drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know how you feel exactly about this black MAGA brother.
I cannot believe how the black community is treating Snoop Dogg. Do you hear what I just said? I cannot believe how the black community is treating Snoop Dogg, right? Like, first we got D.L. Hughley, who has become a washed-up comedian that's not even known. Like, there's a generation that don't know that D.L. Hughley was once a king of comedy. Like, he was in the black culture, he was a king of comedy. He was on the same stages as Steve Harvey, Bernie Mac, right? He's become literally a political troll. He's become a troll, right? Said, oh, me and Snoop, we argued for 2 hours. The black, Snoop Dogg is the black. Like, he literally is such a interwoven part of our culture. And you would think, you would think that he marched with Trump. You would think that he came out as this big MAGA Trump supporter, right? That ain't what Snoop Dogg did. He just performed for Trump and said that the LBGT, he didn't want that pushed on his kid, right? Because it's okay to want your child to be straight. That's a bad thing in our culture now. To want a straight child, to want what God intended for your child, to have a child, a grandchild, the regular way, not adopting. That's why I can't stand with the black community, because it's so hypocritical. You can be a gangster, a murderer, a crip, a blood, but you cannot have a difference in opinion and be a Republican or think for yourself when it comes to politics, because we're so enslaved on the Democratic plantation. Snoop Dogg is such a huge part of our culture, and the black community done turned on him. What, because he performed? Because he said what he said about LBGT rights? What in the world is wrong with this community?
The fact that he's trying to generalize that all black people came for Snoop Dogg simply because he shared his views as regards to why you have a lot of these LGBTQ whatever community infiltrating the cartoon industry, because a lot of kids do watch cartoons, and you have these, it's not right. To me, it's totally not right. But the fact that he's generalizing that the whole community, that's where I have a big problem with, so I just, like I said, this guy, MAGA, especially black market, most of them are looking, it's like a form of publicity stunt. They are looking for attention, they are looking to become popular, and we all know in this social media era, once you become popular, it's money, right? To me, they are just doing it for the wrong reasons. They just want to make big money, and and of course, whatever it is, people are gonna come out for you, right? Like, you can be liberal, you can be a conservative, but don't force your your belief system on people. Like, my political whatever, I will never force it on anybody, and I will never make it like it is about my views or nothing else, right? So guys, what do you think? If you have come this far in this video, please do me the honor and hit on the subscribe button, hit on the like button, hit on the notification button, and there's also a button that I would like you to hit on. That's the hype button. Please hit on it, okay, so that a lot of people would watch this video. But don't forget to drop your thoughts below. Have a blessed day.